Are you thinking about buying a new home, whether first home, second home, vacation home, or investment home? In this video, we're going to concentrate on the loan process and the pre-approval process, and you're not going to want to miss it, and we're going to get into it right now. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to get those market updates on the Tampa Bay area.
My name is Debbie Diaz, and this is Andres Diaz with the Diaz Group at eXp Realty. We get calls, texts, emails every day from people just like you, and we absolutely love it. Whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email so we can help you make that smooth move to Tampa, Florida.
Today we're sitting with one of our preferred lenders, Doug Smith from Smith Lending, and we're going to go over the process of whether you're buying that first home, second home, or investment home, how the whole loan process works. First thing that happens to me when someone calls in, they're ready to go look at homes, they're ready to go make offers on homes. They don't realize that we need a pre-approval. We need to know your budget and how everything works before we start looking at those homes. So I'm sure, Doug, you get phone calls every day?
Every day. So we get the phone call and someone wants to go buy the house, see that house, but ultimately you need a pre-approval letter first, most of the time in this market, to see a home. But what we do is we start off with a simple conversation at first. We're going to go over goals. What do you want that monthly payment to be? What do you want that cash out of pocket to be? And then simply credit score, income, and assets, right? And we're going to paint that picture for what kind of loan the buyer qualifies for.
Fantastic. So really, first step in the process, you can get a hold of us at the Diaz Group. We're going to start creating that search for you, start sending you home so you can visually look at something, and then we're going to put you in touch with one of our preferred lenders like Doug Smith, and he's going to walk around that whole process with you. Another thing that buyers don't really realize is that not every home lends itself to every type of loan. So that's one of the big things, one of the big reasons why I need you to get with someone like Doug to get that pre-approval. Now I know whether it's an FHA loan, VA loan, conventional loan, and does that house that you're interested in fit that type of loan. Doug, tell us a little bit more about the process. Let's start with first-time home buyers. What would be something different for a first-time home buyer versus a veteran versus something else?
I think the main difference is just that being the first-time home buyer, right? So if you haven't owned a home or been on the title for a home in the past 3 years, you're a first-time home buyer, okay? And that's gonna do a couple of things for you. It's mainly gonna give you a little bit better interest rate or better mortgage insurance. It's also gonna open up some different programs for you, right? There's like the Hometown Heroes loan in Florida right now. There's a 1% down conventional loan right now that you can qualify for. So it's gonna open up some different financing options for you when you're a first-time home buyer.
And tell us a little bit about the process. What do they need to do if they want to get that pre-approval?
So what we'll do is we'll go over income, credit, assets, and get some financial documents as well, some pay stubs, some W-2s, and bank statements. It's kind of a simple process. It can really be done in about an hour's time. And another big thing I get too is, well, is it going to hurt my credit score, right? And it's not going to hurt your credit score. The only time that a credit pull is going to hurt your credit score is if you have a ton of credit inquiries. And let me say, normally there's something else going on with the credit collections or judgments or something. So getting pre-approved is not going to hurt your credit score, and it's pretty simple.
And let's just say you give them that pre-approval. How long is that pre-approval normally good for?
So here's the thing, most folks will say 90 days or 120 days, but let me tell you, if I pre-approve somebody and then the next day they quit their job, that pre-approval is no longer valid, okay? So as long as that situation stays the same, when we issue a pre-approval letter, we send out what I call the 10 commandments of lending, right? The do's and the don'ts. So as long as you follow those, we literally just got a contract for a first-time home buyer today that's been looking for a year and a half.
And he sent them to me.
That's right.
So when we're talking to these buyers and they're getting that pre-approval, tell us something like, let's just say, what's more or less the entry-level credit score that someone would need?
So it kind of depends, right? But I would say if you have a minimum of a 580, we can try to get you approved, right? Really, if you're, it's kind of difficult to say, but if you're on your own and you're just one person qualifying, I would say maybe like a 640.
Okay. So somewhere between the 580 to 640 is your starting point, and then sky's the limit to get you better rates and what have you.
Right.
How about, let's see, once we get that pre-approval, don't look now, we have other videos that are going to show you the whole buying process, how you make an offer, how you, don't go look, how you make an offer, how you get the appraisal process, inspection process, what have you.
Yeah.
But we really can't do anything until we have that pre-approval. Pre-approval is like money in your pocket. So another big thing that a lot of buyers don't realize is that it is extremely important to use a local lender versus a national company, well, maybe one of these big red tape companies, what I want to call them, where today you have Sally at extension 102 and tomorrow you have John at extension 500. They close at 5 and they're not open on Saturdays and Sundays. So I know Doug for sure because we love to call him on Friday nights or Saturdays and Sundays.
And the wife loves it too.
And he makes himself available. But it's very important, guys, when you get that pre-approval, local lending is very important. If on the seller side, if I have two offers that are almost identical, and one is one of these big box mortgage firms, and another one is a local lender, I'm going with the local lender 99% of the time.
A lot of the times too, well, as a local lender, when you're making that offer for that buyer, I'm going to call that listing agent.
Super important.
And I'm going to help get that offer accepted. I'm going to let them know that we can close in that time frame. We're going to update the seller so they're in the loop, make it really easy process for everybody. And you know, a big bank, they're not making that phone call.
No, not at all. I've had many different contracts go into contract just because, like, Doug has a relationship with many of the agents in our area. They know his name. They know those pre-approvals aren't given out like candy. He's doing his due diligence and making that pre-approval something that has teeth versus just, you know, paper tiger.
And I would say another thing about the pre-approval as well is that we literally can just start with that conversation. If you're just curious, you're like, I want to just know ballpark figures on where I'm at. If I want to spend $2,000 a month, what does that look like? You know, don't be afraid. We're not going to get on the phone and immediately want that social to pull your credit, right? We can have that conversation, which will help you get a better idea as well to start just if you want to see what the homes that are out there. So I would always, you know, don't be afraid to make that phone call or shoot us an email or, you know, have Andres reach out to us because that starting point is really going to help you move forward in the process so you know kind of what you're walking into.
That's awesome. And that's awesome because, yes, we deal with a lot of folks from out of our region relocating to our area, and sometimes they're not ready to move in 6-9 months to a year. So that works really well. Just getting a quick update, especially if you don't have many circumstances that change.
Yeah, and then while you're pre-approved, once you get pre-approved, and you're looking at homes with Andres and Debbie, and let's say you see a home that you like 123 Main Street, and you're like, well, what is that going to look like, right? We can run some sample figures for you as well to say, hey, here's kind of what your monthly payment's going to look like. Here's what that cash out of pocket's going to look like. Again, help you through the process to find that perfect home.
Awesome. I don't want to get too far into it, too deep into it, because I have other videos on the making the offer, right? Making an offer and doing the inspection and whatever. But after we get that offer turned into a contract, they accept it, because that's what we do. We're going to give it back to Douglas Smith and his guys. And what's the next steps in the process for the lending side, if you will?
So once we have an actual contract, once you have that executed contract, the buyers and sellers have both signed, what we're going to do is immediately work up some what they call the loan disclosures or the loan estimate. You're going to get that within the first couple days, so then you really know what those numbers are. And a lot of it's also going to be what you're going to sign at the closing table, but we have to give it to you up front. So just keep that in mind when you're buying a house with the loan disclosures. It is an estimate, right? And so if things are going to change a little bit, you can still sign this. We got to move through that process. So it's loan disclosures. We're going to go through the underwriting phase. Here's the thing about underwriting. It's a really detailed person that's going through all of the information, the income, and really looking at every single T, cross T and dotted I, right? But if you've done a really good job at the pre-approval phase, that underwriting phase, easy breezy, lemon squeezy, okay?
And that's kind of what I mean about an approval that has teeth versus a paper tiger. It's an approval that someone did their job and checked all of that income and checked the work status and checked everything else versus, hey, let's get that pre-approval. Let's run you down a rabbit hole and make you pay for an inspection and appraisal and then start doing our job.
Yeah,
that's no fun for no one.
It should really be a stress-free process, right? It should really, because it is pretty stressful, right? You're buying a house, you've got 30 days to do it, and I've got to do inspections and appraisal and this, and you're worried that you're not going to put, like, that worry should be dissipated.
No doubt.
That should be dissipated. So we're going to go through underwriting. We're going to get an appraisal done as well. So for the appraisal, we have to order it as a lender. The buyer pays for it. No one can know who this magical appraiser is. Probably a video for a different day on these appraisers. But the appraiser can tell the value of the home, which is super important for the transaction. And then you just get that underwriting phase wrapped up. You'll pick some homeowners insurance as well. Andres and Debbie will probably help walk you through that process. I'm sure there's a video about that. And then you show up to the closing table. Most of the time, it's you and the closer. Sorry if this is going a little ahead of schedule, but this is good stuff right here. Good. Most of the time it's the buyer and the closer, a stack of documents about that big, and they say you're signing your life away. Again, really stressful, but if you're working with Andres and Debbie, I've been to the closing with you guys. It's really stress-free. I go to my closings, which is super not normal for loan officers, but that process right there, that should be a super fun day. Like, you're buying a house. It's really, really exciting. So having that team to walk you through that closing package and make sure to answer all your questions, you don't have any worry or fear when you get the keys to that house.
Goal. But anyways, thank you so much, Doug. This is really helpful. Guys, really feel free to reach out to Doug. We'll put his contact information in the link below and get that process started. You can call us first. We can get you that search going. We'll get you his contact information as well while he works on that pre-approval. Maybe we could go look at a home or two, and we have everything set in line to get you that smooth transition and that smooth move to the Tampa Bay area.
Thank you for joining us on this session of the home buying process with Douglas Smith.
Any other questions you have, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to help you through the process and get things going to make that smooth move to the Tampa Bay area. Remember, like, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, reach out to us. You can call us, text us, or email us. We'd love to help you make that move.
We hope to see you around town.